Have you heard about inflation? Recent stats came out, they put it up at 3.5%. It's actually a lot higher than that. The stats are based on CPI, which ignore other aspects of the economy. Do you know how inflation works? Things getting more expensive, right? Fundamentally, yes. But why do things get more expensive? I'm not sure. Well, the governments, through the reserve banks or the central banks in other countries, create new money and inject them into the economy. They do this to prop up the economy, as the whole thing is built on debt. Think of it as a giant Jenga tower, but without rearranging blocks. Eventually it's going to collapse, but we just need to keep adding money to it to make it higher. Well, you still haven't explained how this makes things more expensive. Think about it this way. If there are 10 pints of Guinness in the economy and $10 in the economy, each pint's going to be worth $1. But if we add another $10 into the economy, each pint becomes worth $2 because we haven't added any extra pints into the economy. Basically, the amount of money printed annually far outweighs the amount of goods and services that are introduced into society annually. Oh, that makes sense. Doesn't seem too bad. What if I told you this isn't even the biggest problem that inflation causes? Go on. It's called the doom loop, and it's happening every day. Governments print money, and now businesses have to still profit even though everything's more expensive. So they can do one of four things. They can pass on the cost to the consumer, and this is what we see most commonly. But they can also cut staff, they can lower the product quality, or they can keep the price the same, but make the product smaller, or as it's more commonly referred to, shrinkflation. Makes sense. But now this has a secondary effect because employees need to get a second job in order to afford the cost of living increase. And the one that lost his job needs to find another one. So now this causes a family cohesion loss, increased drug and alcohol intake, increased mental health and physical health problems due to addictions. And this happens over generations of an inflationary monetary system. So now the government has to step in and solve these problems that they created by starting new organizations to address these issues. This requires consistently more tax to fund these programs, which make it even harder for the people. Furthermore, the rich get richer because all their wealth are in assets, which grow as the money supply increases, while the poor and the middle class get even poorer because they have little to no assets, just a debasing money in their bank accounts. I had no idea. But why is this a doom loop? Well, when things get tough, governments can do one of two things. They can increase taxes or they can cut spending, but both of these options are going to be extremely unpopular, and this will likely cause them to lose the next election. Now, power for them, as we all know, is more important than the well-being of their citizens. So what do? Print more money. Exactly. Is there a way out of this corrupt system?